and a culture that scoffs at honor can rise up to lead and to shine. Time to be the best man that you could be. This is the Manlihood ManCast.
Welcome to the Manlihood ManCast. I'm your host, Josh Hatcher, and we're going to get into today's episode here in a little bit. I'm going to tell you how to win a fight. And I don't know, I got some interesting thoughts on that, but before we do that, I just want to encourage you guys, make sure you go to manlihood.com, and there's a place where you can get a free ebook. We're giving away 500 chunks of manly wisdom, which is where you can read a quote from an inspirational person. There's 500 of them, and it's free. So sign up for that, because we want to be able to give that to you. And while you're at it, make sure you go to manlihood.com/store, because we've got some apparel, we've got some books, we've got some resources for you, and I want you to check it out, guys. I invest a lot of time into manlyhood because I care about it and I care about you. That's why I do it. And I do it is how you can help me invest in this. So if you believe in it, hop in there and grab something. Grab a manlyhood shirt. You can wear it around town and tell everybody how manly you are. But anyway, I want you to do that, and we're going to have a commercial break here, and then we're going to come right back.
Hey man, I see you. I see your fire going out. I see your marriage barely holding on. I know you're broke, wore out, and at the end of your rope. I've been there. It sucks. It sucks the spark right out of you, till all you have is a pile of wet wood. It feels like it's never gonna burn. I can't fix your problems. I can't make her love you again. I can't lose 50 pounds for you or fill your bank account. But I can remind you of who you are. I can share some of my fire. I can help you make a plan to get your life back on track. So let's go. Let's do this. Let's reignite our lives. There's a lot at stake. No one wants their marriage to end in divorce. No one wants to wallow in despair or to the dark places that follow. So let's do it. Let's reignite our lives. Let's reignite our passion, our marriage, our health, our career, our dreams, our mindsets. Get reignite today.
Hey, Josh Hatcher here for the Manlihood ManCast. Hey, I am so glad you guys joined us. I'm glad that I have this opportunity to talk to you about how to be a better man, about how to make a difference in your community, in your family. Guys, this matters, and it matters a lot to me, and I do believe that it matters a lot to you. So I'm broadcasting today. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see I'm broadcasting from my beautiful backyard. You may also, if you're listening to the podcast, be able to hear as some cars and traffic whiz by, and there's some birds singing in the background, and I don't mind. It was too hot inside and too nice outside to record in the studio, so we're improvising today. So anyway, guys, let's get into it. I told you the episode today is about how to win a fight. Now, I want to make something clear. I haven't been in a fight, a physical fist fight, in a long time. And I don't recommend just doing it for the fun of it, okay? We'll talk about that in a second. But, you know, when I was in school, I had to fight a lot. I lost a lot of fights. I won some fights. I was picked on pretty bad. I was bullied, and for any number of reasons. And up until about the end of 8th grade, I'm willing to think that I probably fought almost every day from like 6th grade through 8th grade, almost every day. Even if the fight was just kind of yelling at the kid to leave me alone, or getting up in his face, or being pushed or shoved, or me pushing back or throwing a punch or whatever. And none of the fights ever lasted too long. But these are middle school fights. Some of them were my own fault. Some of them were brought upon me. Some of them were just the result of circumstance, because kids are dumb and they say and do stupid things. So we're not really talking about that. I'm not talking about middle school fights. But if you're a middle schooler and you're listening, there might be some things to apply. Guys, the first way to win a fight is don't get in the fight. It's the first thing. If somebody is trying to goad you into a fight with their mouth, you don't have to engage. You don't have to listen. They can insult your honor. They can say whatever they want about you. They can insult and say anything. And you know what? It doesn't matter. That first way to win a fight involves you being confident and sure in who you are and what you stand for. If you are, it should not matter what anybody else says. It's just words. Now, when I was a middle schooler, I couldn't handle it, and it was too much. And maybe you've got a line. Maybe somebody can say whatever they want about you, but maybe not about your wife. And you know, I'll be honest with you, I can understand that. But if you want to avoid the fight, don't get into the fight. Don't let the words or the attitudes affect you that way. It's an external force, and it's not actually physically threatening you. You don't have to get in a fight for that. So that's the best and first way to win a fight, is don't engage in a fight. Now, I would say the next thing that you should be aware of is, if you're going to be in a fight, you should win the fight. So if you have to be in a fight and you want to win the fight, I highly encourage you, if you're in a place where you can, make sure that you are a concealed carry permit owner, and that you not only own and maintain, but that you keep your skills fresh, so that if you're in a position where you have to physically defend yourself and your life is threatened, you're able to protect yourself with a weapon, with a handgun. Now, I don't think you should do it if you don't know how to use it. I don't think you should do it if you have legal reasons why you're not allowed to carry a handgun. I don't think you should do it if you have a hot temper and are going to shoot somebody just because they called you chicken. I'm talking about your life is threatened and you have to physically defend yourself. That's what that's for. Honestly, I think most people who do carry a pistol do so with the hope and the desire that they never ever have to use it. So I guess if I'm talking about that as a strategy for winning a fight, that is if the fight is an extreme circumstance where you are willing to take a life, and that better be extreme or it's not worth it. Another way to win a fight, another thing we should be aware of, is make sure that you know how to block a punch, how to throw a punch. I'd highly encourage you to take a self-defense class, or go to a self-defense seminar. A lot of times a karate studio or a jiu-jitsu place, even if you're not willing to commit to a long term of lessons or a weekly program, a lot of times they'll do like an introductory seminar and teach you some basic self-defense skills. I highly recommend you go through that so that you can learn some of the basic blocks to punches, learn how to punch, how to get out of certain holds that they might get you in. If somebody grabs you by the neck, there are certain things you can do with your hands to break that hold. If somebody grabs you from behind, how do you get out of that? And really the only way to know those things is to actually physically work through them. So I'd highly encourage you, if you want to win a fight, have the tools that you need. And like I said, it doesn't necessarily take a lot of commitment, although the more that you use those and practice those skills, the better that you can get at them. So if taking a self-defense class on a regular basis is something you want to do, awesome. But at least take the time to learn some. You can even look up on YouTube. I'm sure you can see some things where you can watch some techniques to defend yourself. Another way to win a fight, we talked about not getting in one where you don't let someone's words bother you, but also don't instigate fights. I mentioned not letting someone else's words bother you. How about you be considerate of other people? Don't go around insulting and calling out and belittling people. That's how you get punched. Because somebody else might not have the self-control to say, I'm not going to get in a fight today. I am not going to let these words bother me. You may think you have that self-control, but somebody else might not. So don't go around insulting people just for the sake of insulting them. Be thoughtful. Be considerate. Don't say something if you wouldn't want someone to say it to you. So that's another way to avoid a fight completely, is by not antagonizing one. And again, avoiding a fight wins the fight. If you have to fight and you want to end a fight pretty quickly, I'll tell you, A bloody nose ends a fight pretty quickly. You know, you punch somebody right in the nose and it hurts. There's a lot of nerve endings right there. It hurts. Not everybody can continue after getting hit in the nose, and it's probably one of the quickest things you can do if you want to end a fight. You know, my dad used to tell me, if you get in a fight, you bite, kick, scratch. There's no such thing as a fair fight. There's a fight. If it was fair, it wouldn't be a fight. You know, he says, kick, bite, scratch, poke, hit whatever soft tissue you can, and you can get out of it. You know, I mean, there's something to that. If you have to get in a fight, you be fierce, and you don't quit. You know, you fight until you don't have to fight, which is why you want to avoid it. I think it's not weak to walk away, but if you've got to, hold your ground, man. Hold your ground. You know, they say, and there's a lot of strategies we could talk about there. A lot of people say, well, if you get in close, you can do some damage. You can put somebody in a hold and restrain them, and it's harder for them to hit you if you're close. That's true. The other end of it is, don't get close. Keep your distance. You know, I've got long arms, so if I can keep him at the end of my arms, he's not going to get any closer to me. So, hey, look, I know this is a weird thing to be talking about. You know, we're talking about being better men. We're talking about fighting. Hey, these are realities that a lot of people face. These are realities that you might have to face. I'm going to tell you the other thing, guys, because we talk about avoiding fights really is the best way to win a fight. A lot of times, this happens to me a lot in my life. I'll be at Walmart, I'll walk out in the parking lot, and I'll see a guy berating his woman friend. I call her a woman friend because she's obviously not his wife, because he is a piece of trash and there's no way he would commit to anything. You can just tell. He's berating her, putting her down, cussing at her, calling her every name in the book, and she's pretty upset. Sometimes she might even be throwing it back at him. But they're going off. They're yelling. They're upset. Hear that guy with the big exhaust there? He's got something to prove, doesn't he? Anyway, so they're fighting in the parking lot. He's berating this woman, and in front of the kids, right? There's always a bunch of little kids, and it's not cool. I'm concerned that he's going to get physical because he's angry, and he's treating her not in a good way at all. So I will often put my cart behind my car, and I'll just walk over. Not right up close. She usually doesn't see me. He does. I make sure he makes eye contact. I cross my arms, and I stand there. I don't usually say anything. I don't even usually touch him. I don't even get close enough to touch him. I just make sure that my presence is known. And you'd be surprised how many times the guy shuts up and he gets in the car. I'm telling you guys, this happens a lot. It happens a lot. I'm prepared to do battle. If this guy raises a fist at her, if this guy charges me and tells me to get up, gets up in my face and tells me to back off, I'm prepared. I'm prepared to try to talk him down first. I'm prepared to walk away if it's something where I don't think it's going to go the way that it should. But just being in the situation, just walking into it, and making my presence known has oftentimes diffused a fight. I'm a big guy, so it could probably be a little bit scary, and I'm okay with that. You know, you might be a little guy. I don't know. But I do know if you stand with confidence and authority, you can often just diffuse a fight with your presence. People don't want to mess with you. They can look at you and see that you're confident and that you mean business. You don't even have to be angry. I could just stand there and smile. But I'm confident. What's he going to do? And like I said, I found in many, many times just my presence has diffused a fight. So, like I say, the best way to win a fight is to walk away from a fight, or to diffuse a fight, or to honestly just avoid it at all costs. But if it comes down to it, guys, fight for all you're worth. do what you've got to do. Don't use lethal force unless your life is in serious danger and you're afraid for your own life or the life of someone else, and you have to end a life. Don't do that unless you absolutely have to. But if you want to win a fight, know that it might go there. Be prepared for that. So if you are willing to avoid a fight, try to talk a fight down to de-escalate, that's how you win. But if you have to go that extra mile, if you have to trade, if you have to raise hands, if you have to throw hands, if you gotta, dodge punches or take punches, if you're not willing to take a punch, you're not going to win a fight. So make sure that if you want to engage it to that point, go right ahead. If it's the right thing to do. And only do it if it's the right thing to do. That's the thing I think that's wrong with a lot of people today, is they're willing to get into an argument. They're willing to get into a fist fight. They're willing to get into whatever, and it's not the right thing to do. Guys, we're talking about how to win a physical fight. But, I mean, even in verbal arguments, guys, is it worth getting into? Is it worth using your words as weapons? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's worth standing up and saying the truth that needs to be said. Sometimes it's just not worth it. I think really the key to winning a fight is knowing when it's worth it. That's my challenge for you guys. Think about that, process that, work through that, see what you think. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, so please feel free to leave me a comment. If you want to discuss it in depth, maybe with a little bit more privacy, you can join our Facebook page, our Facebook group rather, the Manlihood Man Cave. Men only, and it's a private group, so people can't see what you're talking about unless they're in the group. So if you want to get into more details on that, if you want to kind of unpack it a little bit with me, I'd love to chat with you about it more. But I do want to encourage you guys, go forward, be strong, be courageous, be bold, do the right thing, be a man.
If you want to be a better man, check out our website, manlihood.com, for blogs, videos, and more from our Manlihood team. Men, you can also join our private Facebook group, Manlihood Man Cave, where you can meet up with a band of brothers who will challenge you and help you on your journey of manhood. Be sure to check out all our resources at manlihood.com/store. This episode is produced by Thatcher Media for manlihood.com. Our manly theme music is from Austin Sterling and also from Mark Cruz. Sure to subscribe and leave a review on iTunes, YouTube, or whatever you're listening to. Tune in again for more of the Manlihood ManCast.